So
All right.
welcome to the Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024 Board of Health meeting. In accordance with the governor's order superseding certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law 304, Section 20, related to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency. The meeting is the public meeting of the Board of Health shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregations. And that should be good. And so it's public hearings, we have none. Appointments, we have none. Is Matt going to be on tonight, or is he not available?
He was not, he didn't think so. He thought he was going to try, but he didn't think he was going to be on.
Okay. Okay.
A little bit of an update about what he's doing, so.
Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of more curious about the flooding over the past week or so. If some of his projects have been, the town projects need to be either revised or they've had to be put on hold until the water recedes, but we can talk about that down towards the end.
Okay.
Meeting minutes. I quickly reviewed them once. I didn't see anything that was out of line. Liz, I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at that stuff.
Yeah, I read them. I didn't see anything that was an issue.
Okay. Since both of us were here, I guess we can approve the meeting minutes and go from there. So Liz, do you want to make a motion and I'll second it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
And I'll second.
All right.
And all in favor? All in favor, say aye. Sorry. Andy Makinowski. Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. The next thing is a policy for the potluck meals. And again, I kind of hope Christy would have been here because I think it's important to get her input on some of this stuff. She brought up some good points last time we met. But
did you have a chance to look at the draft that I sent you? Which
I did. I'm the thoughts on the policy are I think probably are probably just the first start of this, and I think that I just can't see dialing any of this stuff back. Just sort of the way conditions are in the world today. How many reports over the past 2 weeks or since our last meeting, they were talked about salmonella, listeria on packaged foods and stuff like that, and even in dog food. I am very frustrated with the fact that Betsy, yours and John's conversation with the state provided no guidance at all. And at this point, it's sort of like we're kind of hanging out there in the wind with some of this stuff. The way I look at it is, whatever we do can always be changed in the future. But at the same time, I think we just have to hold on until we get our other member on. And I'm not sure where did she respond? She did respond to.
I sent her a text. She hasn't responded.
Okay. But she did respond to the previous emails though, right?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Well, I just have a question as far as that issue that's on the table from the church. I forget the person's name, but she keeps pointing to potluck, which is not what's in contest here. It's the facility where she wants to have it is a certified kitchen, and that's the issue, correct?
So just Christy just sent me a text. She apologizes. She's out of town for work and completely missed that the meeting was tonight. So
okay,
doesn't look like she's joining us.
Okay. John, can you sort of, I guess, I get not bring us back up to speed, but I mean, that's my understanding too. And
Liz,
I
what was the question? I'm sorry, I was reading Christie's text.
My question is, we have that issue on the table regarding the church, and they want to pursue that their meeting is a potluck.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm under the impression that we're not contesting potluck, we're contesting where they're having it because it's a certified kitchen. Correct?
Yeah, John can probably provide more information, but so our conversation with MAHB, the legal counsel, she was very clear that there was no problem them having a potluck. They just could not bring the home baked goods into the permitted church kitchen.
Okay, so that's pretty.
But the literature she keeps sending us is mostly in regard to whether or not it's a potluck, correct?
So if I can jump in, I feel like that in this specific instance, there's kind of a mixing of two different things, right?
Okay.
There's a potluck and then there's the food code. I don't think I'm not trying to recommend or suggest that the board should ban potlucks. What I'm saying is that potlucks should occur and that the food code should be enforced where the food code should be enforced. There's been, I think it's repeatedly been said that the potluck Mass General Law has a statement in there about a business establishment. And the contention has been that the church isn't a business establishment. But a food establishment that is involved in the sale of goods to the public would be a business establishment. But every food establishment is not a business. So food establishment applies to, nonprofits and government entities and civic groups as well. And so I think when we apply the food code, food made in a residential kitchen cannot come into a permitted kitchen. And so that's been my point about this specific case.
Okay.
I think as a whole, and I know you're waiting for the other member, as a whole, I think there's, some confusion about applying potluck to different groups in town. Does that answer your question?
John, if I make this whole thing to Liz's point as well and make it real simple, they can continue what they're doing. They just can't bring the food into the kitchen. Essentially, that's the bottom line. They can still use the facilities, they can still use the room, but they can't use the kitchen for cutting, for basically unwrapping things, putting them on plates, dishes, stuff like that, making coffee, stuff like is that oversimplifying the issue?
I believe that's been brought up several times, and that hasn't been. I don't think that's been accepted as an answer. They can have a potluck in that building,
Yeah.
And they can have their permitted kitchen in that building. They just can't bring homemade food into the permitted kitchen.
Okay.
And they use this kitchen to
that's
sell stuff?
I'm sorry?
No.
And they use this kitchen to sell and distribute stuff as well?
I don't believe they sell anything out of there. They use the kitchen for other events.
Which have to be permitted. The other
Right.
events
If
need the
it's
permit.
something that's, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, no, I'm just trying to understand.
If it's something that's open to the public, it needs a permit.
Okay.
Okay, because I keep getting confused on the literature she keeps trying to qualify as a potluck, which I don't think is what is being contested. It's just the fact that they can do it at the building, just not in this kitchen, because it's permitted for use for other things.
Right. That's okay. Yeah, that's
not an
my
acceptable answer for them.
That's my understanding. So I don't know. I think we have a hand raised on whoever iPhone cat is.
I'm assuming that is Kathy Fox. I don't see a hand raised though.
right-hand side of the icon.
I'm not seeing it.
It disappeared.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, it's again, I wish Christy was here so we could have her input on things, but you know, while I understand the benefits to identify something as a potluck, Liz, I agree with you that this really is not a potluck event, and I guess it's kind of like, you know, do you use other rules to oversee or govern your activity when it comes to food? And I think that's kind of where, I don't know whether it's confusion or it's just you know, just an unacceptable situation of simply just bringing food in, using the facility, but just not using the kitchen. If that's the case, then, you know, that's the case. That's what we're looking at. So Liz, I'd like to table this so we can, I guess, move on. I just wish Christy could have been here to basically help.
Oh, there's something popping up now.
Yep. So. I'm trying to. Oops,
We do not
sorry.
sell food.
Hold on one second. I'm having
I can only see part of it.
Oh, thank you. Where's my chat? Chat. I am not. Why is this being difficult for me?
The ruling says you may not bring food into a kitchen that sells food. We do not sell food.
Yeah, she said that many times before, but I don't think that we agree with that.
If there are events that are open to the public, it has to be certified. It doesn't matter whether or not you're selling stuff. Is that the correct interpretation?
I think that is our interpretation.
But if the Bible study event, when that happens on whatever day it is, and it's kept separate from the kitchen, basically those are the ground rules essentially. But that is it, John, is that an oversimplification of what this issue is?
No, I think that's right. Although since this has started, the individual said it's about the activities at the church. It's not just about the Bible study.
Okay, so we sort of have creeping.
And I don't want to put words in their mouth. That was my understanding as this has evolved.
But we're basically looking at sort of like a little bit of a moving target and creeping goalpost, if you know what I mean. From you know, what exactly are the activities? Maybe do we need to sort of start from step 2 and sort of look at again what the activities are and identify the what exactly goes with each one, and while there may be similar things that don't require some aspect of oversight by the Board of Health, there are some things that may or they may not. I mean, the way I look at it, you know, once you get into the swing of things and basically the process of doing this repeatedly, it should be pretty straightforward, and it should be simply just a case of, you know, making a phone call or email to Betsy, and then, you know, the approval is given or the permit's given. So I again, you know, I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I'm trying to find a simple solution to this, and it doesn't seem like we're going to get one real quick. So I don't know. I guess Liz, can we just table this and wait till Christy gets back, or wait till we can get Christy on the line, and I don't, she's obviously not going to call in, but if we can, you know, to get her involved with the discussion too, because I know, I mean, her background with events, I think, gives a different perspective on things, but at the same time, it's the full board needs to be involved with this whole discussion. So if you're okay with that,
I'm fine with tabling it.
okay. Okay. Let's move on to the 2023 report.
If you're done with John, is it okay if we let him go? I think he's got another a meeting to attend.
Yeah, I have, unless John, you have any closing remarks or comments, or?
No, I think you want to wait till the full board was available.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, thanks so much. Have a good night.
Bye, John.
Good night.
Betsy, I got copied on the email about you and Rich and everybody else working on the Board of Health report. I know, I mean, there's last year I think was pretty quiet though, wasn't it? We didn't have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, Rich didn't work on this. Yeah, I wrote that, and I got input from the nurses. So did you read the report?
I'll be honest with you, I skimmed it because I'm trying to get mine done for the Energy Committee. So that's unfortunately taken my priorities. So
okay, I don't know if anybody had any input, any comments. If you're okay with it, I'll submit it as written.
Liz, did you happen to read it? I honestly, I read it once, Betsy, and it's like, yeah, that all makes sense, and it looks good. It's, there's a lot of things that repeat year after year after year, but then again, that's expected for the function of the Board of Health. So
yeah, I didn't read it. I read it the day you sent it. I'm just trying to remember if I had any questions about anything. I didn't flag anything, so I don't think I did.
Okay, if nobody has any questions, I will go ahead and submit it as written.
Okay. Next topic. John's gone, so I don't think he probably didn't have any updates. He would have said something.
Nope.
Matt, you're up.
Matt is on there.
Yeah, I'm on. So I'm just a couple things. Just real quick, the Eagle Brook septum is about halfway complete. I think with the cold pause, they did. Myself and the engineer
I really
plan
can't understand.
so far. So, and the Cranberry Estates, I did a site visit with a couple of town officials and some state officials, and the developer. Multiple pieces there, but on my end, we still don't have any perk applications in. Well, I'll look out there all the way. So it's time in the systems. So we will see. I think the other thing I will have in the next, hopefully for the next meeting or the next meeting or two, two septic variances, or multiple variances for two different lots. They're side by side on Main Street. I don't have plans yet from either of the engineers, but they're relatively restrictive lots, given the size of the lot and the wells and site conditions. So as soon as I get the plans, then I will get them reviewed and memos out to the board for any questions. But other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Matt, any projects that have been adversely impacted with the rains and the floodings that we've seen over the past couple of weeks?
Not in Norfolk. Fortunately, the forecasts were relatively accurate, so any of the projects that were ongoing, they were able to wrap up prior to, or just put off and delayed until after the storm. So I did not have any issues with anything that I had ongoing.
Okay. Any recent installations that you've approved that were underwater by chance? Because I've seen some pretty crazy flooding in some yards, just in the general area. Nothing in Norfolk that really sticks out, but it's I mean you get around town more than I do on a daily basis, but I'm just kind of wondering.
Not that I've been aware of. No.
Okay, thank you.
Just back,
Yep.
just back to the Cranberry Heights 40B subdivision. So that has been submitted to Mass Housing. I believe they have 90 days to review the project and issue their eligibility letter. So we would expect that that might be before the zoning board of appeals in the spring at some point, to start with their public hearing process for their comprehensive permit.
Okay. And Betsy, how long before it would take that to filter down to the Board of Health for any review?
Oh, immediately.
Okay. Okay. So it would be definitely simultaneously done at the same time as zoning.
Yeah, once it arrives at the zoning board of appeal and they schedule the public hearing, we'll get notification. And of course, I work in the same office, so I'm privy to that information. So,
Okay. Are the conceptual plans to have a central septic system, or is it basically unit by
I
unit?
don't think so, Matt. I think they're looking to do private on-site septic systems for each of the lots. Is that correct?
You,
You're breaking up, Matt. Andy, I wanted to let the board know too that if you go to the zoning board of appeals webpage, the under 40B projects, I think the conceptual plans are there as well as the application to Mass Housing.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
That's yeah. I believe it is all individual systems.
Okay, that's what I thought too, Matt.
I haven't been told otherwise.
Okay. Okay. Matt, how's anything on the well regulations?
I do not know.
Okay. Okay. No problem. No problem. I believe me. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to sometimes change directions when you're doing other things. So not a problem. Next thing, Southwood Hospital. Just a quick update. The consultants is doing some additional testing out there. They are looking at the radiation that was found in the wastewater filter beds that are actually towards the 115 1A intersection relative to the building, so it's kind of downhill. They are scheduled to get the report done sometime in March, and that becomes essentially what's called the phase 2 comprehensive site assessment. But I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to have more questions than answers from the work they're doing now. So that's my take on it. Luckily, man, nothing new other than the flooding that's occurred over there. I did get a call from a neighbor over there because they're aware of the past flooding, and they said that the whole marshy area and the area they call the raceway was completely filled with water, and that is a concern from the perspective of site closure under the mass contingency plan, because that means of transport has to be considered an ecological risk assessment, which should have been done now almost 3 years ago in February, which hasn't been done yet. So needless to say, the site is out of compliance, unfortunately, that the DEP has to deal with that stuff. I mean, we can call DEP and say, what are you doing? And they'll say, we'll get back to you. Because I did this last year and nothing's happened. So, okay. Next thing, setting the 2024 meeting schedule.
Yep, I think I've got a list of most of our meeting dates. Well, as far as my calendar on my desk went anyway, it went as far as August.
Okay.
So,
I may have a problem with the April date. I think I have to pick up my son that week, and I'm not sure
okay,
if I will be in
we
town.
we have plenty of time. If we need to move that, we can certainly discuss it at another meeting.
Okay, I'll know closer to the
Yep.
closer
No
to the
worries.
time, the actual dates, but it's around that week.
All right.
There's nothing right now that sticks out, but then again, I mean, I'm only probably planning until May at this point, but we'll go from there. Okay. Okay. Any new business? Betsy, you want to tell us about anything going on, or that you've heard coming down the pike, or we good to go?
Nope, Matt, you and Matt explain. I think we've got I think we may have two variance hearings for septic system upgrades at our next meeting. So that'll be a change of pace.
Okay. Good. Matt, anything else?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, can I get a motion to adjourn if there's no new business or nothing else to discuss?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:28.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second that. Andy Bakanowski, aye.
Liz Gephardt, aye.
Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you
Night. Have a good one.
next month.